Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. It's a ladder match between Turin and Mephi. Both players playing Cyber, and the map is the Dark Heart Fab version. I don't know what the original version was like, to be honest. Only know this one. And it's a bit of a weird map. It's actually a sort of 2v2v2 map. Lots of islands, pretty small, only 10 by 10. And already complaints start in the chat. So there's a ton of reclaim on this map. You see you start with 2 destroyer wrecks on your island. More destroyers all over the place. Salem's everywhere. So it's the main thing to concentrate on at the start. So common complaint that T1 hover is too good on this map, gives too much of an advantage. Won't have to deal with that in this matchup. And actually, Turin has gone first air, and the second unit he's making is a bomber. The first unit is an engineer to go get that reclaim very quickly. I think that's a good decision on this map. So there's not really any other way to do damage early on, so let's see how many kills he gets with this bomber. It could be very, very bad for Mephi. Scout coming as well. Nice name from Turin as well. Diseased map. First bomb drops. There's one engineer. Decent damage on the P-gens. Ooh, no drop this time. I think the engineer dodging helped a lot. Some micro attempted here and failed. Mephi runs back under the bomber so it can't drop. So good dodging from Mephi. Bomber circles around looking for more targets. Now there's anti-air out, so he has to leave the main island. So not too good so far, only a single kill. Now it looks like he will find this engineer over here heading to the reclaim. So that will slow Mephi down a bit. Now he still has all of this mass. Actually, is he gonna... Oh, he's not overflowing. He has lost this engineer. See, Mephi's only built a single mass extractor now. He's heavily relying on the reclaim. And that seems a bit... Yeah, I feel like he should build the maxes. But now he has two inties out. I don't think Turin has any air units now, so time for Mephi to make his own bomber, I think, and try and do some damage in return. All this time, Turin has just been managing his economy, not making units, not dodging or anything, just trying to get that reclaim, build as much power as possible so that he is not limited when he gets all these destroyer wrecks. Mephi sends in his air to win air control and kills that first inti that Turin has made almost for free. And then, yeah, we'll see a bomber now. Jester also would be a good choice. Of course, the advantage that a Jester is not going to get dodged. Is quite a bit more expensive though. Anti-air out for Turin, he knows what's coming. And he wants to force the intis to stop controlling his air production. Also adding another air factory. And we have one naval factory at the front as well. And an engineer going to mid. Quite a bit of reclaim in mid, and Mephi's commander's actually headed there now to try and secure quite a few mexes as well. Similar number of mexes to the 3 main islands on the mid. Actually, maybe even more in mid, on top of all this reclaim from the civ buildings, from that PD there. But Turin has a big income lead already. Looks like 25 mass per tick. Mephi only has 11. Only 5 T1 mexes, that's all he has. And I think that might be really bad for him, honestly. T1 mexes are so good. Delaying them for your opening build order to boost it, I think it's good, but delaying them all this for this long and just using reclaim instead, I think it's gonna be bad for him. You can see he has far less total mass, but he actually has more mass reclaimed in total, so the generated mass just so much better for Turin at the start of this game, and it's helping him a huge amount. Because in the end, he's going to have a similar amount of reclaim, but he's going to have all that extra generated mass from early on in the game. Frigate comes in, kills all the NGs that are on the water. 5 kills. Mephi has more production up than Turin does now. Mephi can actually reclaim Turin's only naval factory. That would be a pretty nice move. Instead, it looks like he's going to walk up onto the shore and they're gonna just shoot each other. Don't know what this will achieve for Mephi. It's actually under fire for a frigate now. I think he will just reclaim this factory. Yeah. And Turin has 3 T2 mechs already. A 4th one on the way, and Mephi only a single T2 mechs. Still some reclaim, actually has a Destro wreck on the bottom, and nobody's made any effort to get the bottom island just yet. We haven't seen a transport from anyone. Just some inties, and I actually missed how Mephi's bomber did. Well, that's a dead engineer there, so killed something at least. That's also dead, and some stuff dead in the base. Gonna assume the bomber did at least some of that damage. So totally even reclaim numbers now, 6.7, 6.8. But Turin about 2,000 mass ahead. T2 air is now finished for Turin. He went straight for that upgrade, getting a T2 engineer out. Getting many T2 engineers out, it seems. And yeah, T2 air going to be very, very powerful. A lot of things to defend, a lot of mexes. But what I have seen in other games is a very quick rush of T2 Navy. I think that's very popular because T2 Navy can hit essentially every mech on the map. Just those destroyers can hit everything pretty much, and the cruisers, no doubt. Missile cruisers. But no T2 Navy, just T1. And not even that much. I mean, Turin is really getting away with making very few units. He's making an okay amount of air, but even that he's just even really with Mephi. And in the Navy, a single factory. The rest is just T2 mexes, and some of these can actually be killed by frigates, so maybe Turin over-ecoing, but we'll see. This air fight is very important. It looks like Turin got the better micro. He had 1, 2, maybe 3 more inties at most, but comes out of it extremely well. 10 inties left over. Lost very, very few, and completely dominated the air battle there. Mephi, when I clicked on him last, was overflowing some mass, and he doesn't seem to be reacting to all of this economy from Turin. We can already see from Mephi's point of view 2, 4, 6 T2 mexes. And there's only a single one for Mephi. And he has mass in the bank, he has some energy to work with as well, so really should probably be investing more in those mexes. But it looks like he'll get the bottom island, and that's going to be a huge help. Should even out the income. That also means he will secure almost 4,000 mass, about 3,700 mass from those destroyers in reclaim. He just has to make sure that this bottom island does not get damaged by the T2 air that Turin has. And so he's already making mobile anti-airs and also static turrets as well to defend. And his navy is definitely superior. We did see this mex go down. That was actually almost upgraded when it died. This T2 mex looks like it will probably go down as well. Even if more frigates have to be sent, it should die. And Mephi soaring ahead in reclaim as well. 8.1k for Turin, 15,000 for Mephi now. So huge amount of reclaim for him. He's really stolen a lot, and he hasn't even taken the bottom mass down here. So you gotta really think that he needs to invest some of that back into mexes. Certainly he's gonna need to, well, maybe T2 Navy would be the thing to make right now. With this mass in the bank, and also it's kind of low on power, but Navy is very low in terms of its power cost compared to land or air. So could be a good option. Stealth on his commander now, but it's in a bit of a problem with power. It's gonna have to pause some stuff, pause this air production. There it goes. Looks like he won't be able to keep any of the mid-mexes right now, as there's gunships moving around, taking them out. And we have so much T1 that he should be able to control the navy completely and stop more production going up, unless Turin makes quite a few more torp bombers. But this T1 navy is not going to do much damage. Not many of the T2 mexes. Well, really only this one is vulnerable, and it's at the back of the base, and there's torp bombers defending. So I think we need T2 navy to really do damage and pose some threat against Turin's mexes. And map control kind of split a bit strangely. Turin hasn't really taken control of the mid. He's actually upgrading here. He's just finished T2. Well, maybe he will be able to take all these mexes in the middle, but the bottom island he's not even fought for. It didn't even. I think he just scouted all the anti-air and decided he's not gonna fight there. Gonna attack different mexes around the place. Still a lack of economy now. Only now we have more mexes coming from Mephi. I think he maybe forgot to upgrade or something, and now he's making T2 on his commander as well. But he is behind in mass income, despite having all of these bottom mexes and just having more map control in general. The lack of T2 mexes is hurting a lot, and he is building up a very nice force of interceptors again. You can see how he lost that air fight, and he just makes sure he doesn't take a fight before he has decent numbers, so he's not set back even further in trying to regain air control. But while he's not been fighting, Turin's made quite a lot of aggressive units out of this T2 air HQ and done a lot of damage. A lot of Navy has been killed. Especially these subs will die very quickly to torp bombers. And we still don't have T2 Navy. So there's not really damage to be done. Oh, it looks like actually he can hit some mexes here. Maybe he can probably kill this T2 mex with frigates, maybe. If he pays attention, keeps them in range. Yeah, they are hitting. But, oh, he's not interested. Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake there. That's a free mex kill there. If he stays in range, targets it. But all these air units doing well to defend. The subs are no help whatsoever. Not able to kill anything. Looks like one T2 mex will go down. And now Mephi goes in for the air fight. Is this the correct time? He's fighting over Turin's base and it looks pretty even in terms of numbers. Maybe a bit better for Mephi actually. No, in fact, that looks good for Turin. Yeah, it looks like Turin wins that. This anti-air turret did a fair bit of damage there. But overall, I'm kind of surprised Turin won that with so many left over. See, a lot of them are half HP or even very low HP. Would be nice to get some air staging for them. And the gunships and torpedo bombers stopped all this T1 Navy at the back and just left a lot of reclaim, and only one T2 mex died and also one T1 mex as well. And so it looks good for Turin again with that air win, and in mid with his ACU he's made a shield T2 PDs to hold off any frigates on the shore, and now he's building a T2 arty. And let's see the range. Well, it reaches the base, reaches a lot of stuff here. We have a huge amount of T1 power in range. Most of Mephi's T1 power probably. Have a drop of some T1 units on the bottom island, but that's going to be killed quite easily. And T2 mexes, well, Turin's just making them everywhere. He has 12 now. Mephi has what looks like 5. But with far more map control, he does have 5, yeah. But a lot more T1 mexes. But now the RT shells are firing. And with the first shell, he takes out build power 4 T1 mexes. Damages the factory.
Commander under attack.
More T1 pigeons going down. Mephi sends his commander to see what's going on and sees with his Omni that there's 2 arties, and actually Mephi is just 1 air. Oh no, he hasn't actually. I thought he had just killed Turin's air, but no, but he does actually have more inties now, so really impressive amount of production there to have lost air pretty convincingly, and already he's back and has basically even and slightly more numbers. So he should be safe from the torpedo bombers, and still Turin only has a single naval factory, which is very, very unusual on this map. But instead his 3rd artillery piece is going up. Already has 27 kills on this first arty, 1300 points of vet. And we might have an air fight. It looks like bad micro from Mephi. His interceptor stopped and Turin got a bit of a turn on him, some free damage. Mephi now is microing, but it might be too late. Still, oh, that's a nice turn for him. But still, it's not enough. Turin wins air again. And that was really a miss micro from Mephi that led to that. He should have won that air fight. And we have more reclaim scattered from the skies above Turin's base. Frigates can't even get close. Well, they're actually got through the shield. It's only an ED1, of course. But now they go down. The shield recharged before they could even kill the first T2PD. And the base is starting to take serious damage. This T2 Max just barely survives, as is the T2P gen. Two factories have gone down. Some T1 P gens. There goes the T2 Max now. And Mephi's trying to get some T1 PD up here. And that is just not working. There's just a lot of T1 PD and T2 PD from Turin to defend from attacks like this. And I don't really see how Mephi kills this base unless he makes T2 Navy, I guess. It would be the way. But this is extremely dangerous. He loses a T2 Pigeon now to the Arties. Another mech's taking a lot of damage. And he really needs to get rid of these Arties. This T1 PD spam is very expensive, and it's been doing it non-stop, and it hasn't actually done any damage. See how much it drains when he builds a T1 PD. Minus 42 mass, minus 336 energy, and he must have been doing that for like a minute and a half, maybe a minute. That is a huge amount of resources to spend, and we actually have TMLs from Mephi coming after Turin's mexes. The TMD is doing work, but actually, if Mephi just continues firing, he's gonna get through and kill these T2 mexes thanks to the split missile of the Cybran. That TML is in range of the Arties, so it may fall to them as well, just like a lot of this base has fallen already. The left looks like a drop from Turin got through and killed this island. Very nice drop there. And on the right, Turin spamming more T2 mexes. Mephi building a lot of power down here where it's out of range of the artillery. And he has a lot of anti-air here to protect himself as well. Maybe he could start upgrading some mexes, and Turin really has started to run away with this now. 10k less mass from reclaim, but more income, far higher score now. And I guess maybe I lost or missed another air fight. Maybe not. But Turin is definitely in control of the air. Maybe with some of those air fights, if Turin or if Mephi microed a bit better, he would still have, or he would have gained air control at some point. He's making T2 Navy now, planning for cruisers. But right now there's 4 artillery here, with it reached deep into Mephi's base, including his HQ, his T2P gen, a lot of his T1. The TML has just gotten killed now by one of those artilleries. And he has 5 up, and it's very difficult to stop this now, because they will target the T2 Navy and do a lot of damage, and so the air can actually be used against the cruisers as well. And it looks really difficult for Mephi to get back into this. And also difficult to snipe this commander with T2. He has a lot of shields in mid. And a lot of PD as well. And even some anti-air. And yeah, looks quite bad for Mephi now. More T1 drops from Turin planned. Corsairs being used against frigates, maybe not the best use. T2 land from Mephi at the bottom. He's making flags out of that. And Wagner's as well. Looks like he can easily kill this these T2 mexes. They look a bit greedy anyway. Mephi wandering around in the ocean. His commander. Just wondering how the hell he can win this game. Looks pretty tough from here. The RDs continue to fire. They haven't killed too much. Oh, they've actually been killing the T1 naval production. Guess that's a decent use. And the drop up here has killed all the mexes. There's still a factory alive, so Mephi can likely retake that. T2 land complete for Turin, and he's actually going T3 land now. I wonder why that is. Maybe he wants T3 tech. He wants a T3 engineer. But other than that, I'm not really sure why he would make T3 land. I mean, I guess he could make bricks and walk them across the pond. But I think T2 Navy would be superior to that choice, for sure. Mephi snacks on a T1 naval factory on his way towards Turin's base, and there's a lot of mantis in Turin's base as well, just for defense, you know, in case the AC wanted to come up on the land. What is the plan here? RTs continue to fire in, and this HQ is still alive, which is kind of surprising. There is an RT in range of it. Maybe it's being repaired when it takes damage, and Mephi is now trying to spam up 2 on PDs by edge building up into Turin's base under this shield generator. It's supposed to be protecting the T2 power, but look at this. Every time he builds a PD, it starts attacking this mantis on the hill. He needs to reclaim this guy so his PDs stop being retarded and shooting the ground. That is annoying. Well, the frigates will come over here and fix that problem. Oh, there's the T3 mechs from Turin right here, right next to where Mephi has chosen to build these T1 PDs, as well as 2 T2 gens. This could do a lot of damage here. You can see how difficult it is. We only have 1 land factory. It should be making artillery. You need some Medusa here to go against these T1 PDs. But at the back of his base, queuing up some T2 PD, that will help a lot. Wagner's helping out as well, going after this T2 gen. It's taking a lot of damage, but it stays up. You have a T2 PD as well from Mephi, trying to kill the build power, throwing up PDs in the base. As the T1 PDs go to work on the T3 mass extractor, and it goes down. So significant damage, and the T2 Navy is out in force. We have cruisers, but actually Turin has finally thrown up a lot of naval build power at the back of his base, and these frigates are coming around. Likely be able to kill. Well, this cruiser is certainly going to die. The other cruiser at the front has been sniped by torpedo bombers, so the bombardment is going to end, and the air is taking out everything that Mephi is trying to build here. Significant damage done. He actually got 3 T2 pigeons killed, and the Wagners are here. Should probably be targeting T2 mexes rather than anti-air. And we're looking at Mephi's base, it is gradually disappearing. The T2 Air HQ is dead now. There's no T2 mexes left in this island except one right here. Actually, no, there's two. But in the core mass, they are all dead. Mephi now going for the torpedo on his commander. That's a pretty good choice. As long as he can. Let's see if he can afford it. Oh. Oh, his T2 land HQ down here is also dead. And that, oh yes. These 3 TMLs in mid. This one has 6 kills. This one has 2 kills. And that is surely what took out probably both the HQs and some T2 mexes as well. And so, without, well, there's no T2 power anywhere, and no TMD. Need a T2 PGen from this engineer here, but torpedo finishes nonetheless, and that should kill all of this T1 Navy here quite easily. But now, with the frigates overhead, he can be spotted in the water. Stealth does not help him when there's units right above his head. And he has been targeted by the torpedo bombers, and they're not going to be dying before Mephi goes down. One more pass and that should finish him. But he's just getting onto land, and just before the torpedoes hit, he lands or makes landfall. Is 1200 HP, and there's actually a brick coming out of the T3 factory targeting his ACU. And he is dead. The frigates get the last couple of shots. And Mephi goes down. Turin wins the game. Mephi said, he thought Turin was trolling. Didn't play serious anymore. Well, I think Turin was actually ahead for the majority of the game. Thanks to those T2 mexes. Mephi had a lot more map control, had more T1 Navy. Turin had a lot more T2 mexes and had air control for almost the entire game, and that worked out better for Turin. And once he got got 2 arties up quite quickly before Mephi realized what was happening, and you can see the damage. This did a lot of damage very quickly. And there's T2 PGens, T2 mexes that died. Put a lot of pressure on Mephi, killed all his naval production as well. Forced him to really try and do a lot of damage on to Turin's main base where he had all of his economy. Because the middle base was, well, it was not really possible to do any damage to it. You can see the defenses he has here. Shields, anti-air, arties, T2 and T1 PDs. Eventually TML's going up to do even more damage. And a T2 ACU to help defend, throw up more defenses if it gets attacked. So Mephi really had to be aggressive on the main island. And he couldn't really do that without T2 Navy. He was, I guess, kind of late on T2 Navy, I would say. Made a lot of T1 Navy, controlled the naval, but took too long to get T2 Navy and do some damage. Could have also ecoed more, I guess, early on with all all of that reclaim. Well played from Turin, and nice game on this map, and hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.